this is Dr. Jeannie Barrow with FearlessWomenAtWork.com, and this is the third video that I'm recording for you in the same day. So I am super excited to do that, and the reason is that I, as you may have heard, completed my Fearless Leadership Retreat recently for 2018, and it was an incredible event, and I put together a magnificent manual that is the workbook for my book, and we worked through that throughout the retreat. And in addition to pampering ourselves and restoring and going for a hike and enjoying the hot tub, we also did a lot of in-depth, immersive peer training and learning. And so I wanted to share with you one of the exercises that I felt are foundational to building a strong career and a strong, happy life in general. And this is not just my opinion. This is the result of a study by Harvard that said that people that build relationships were the happiest at the end of a 75 longitudinal study that Harvard conducted. So how do we build a strong network and strong relationships that will nourish and support us in our careers and in our personal lives? This is how I was teaching the students and the women who attended the retreat. There is something that I call your center of influence, and your center of influence are the people that touch any part of your role or any part of your function at work. And I'm going to focus on work, but you can apply the exact same thing to also a personal setting. So imagine yourself, what I would do is draw a circle, right? And in that circle, you're in the middle. So this is you in the middle. And around you, you have a wheel that has spokes. And at the end of every spoke is the bubbles, right, of the people that are at the end of those spokes that are your center of influence. So who are these people? Okay, write this down. There are you in the middle. Then one spoke should be your peers, people that are at your level, people that could potentially be running other functions or within other functions. People that are in the same, you would say, that if you're a manager, other managers in your department. Those are your peers, right? We're going to talk about levels in this case. Another group and another bubble in your graph should be your manager and your manager level, meaning your manager's peers. Those are people in your center of influence, and I'll explain soon why. Another bubble you need to draw is your direct reports, if you have any, your team. So those are people that are in your center of influence. And last, you have your mentors, sponsors, potentially vendors that are critical partners to your function, and anyone else that impacts your function or your role at work. These are all people in your center of influence. You can do the same exercise for your personal life. So why should we focus on your manager and your manager's peers? If the goal is for you to grow in your career and develop healthy and productive relationships, the goal is for you to surround yourself with people that know you and hopefully like and trust you, because you're being authentic, because you have integrity, right? And because you have good character and you are trustworthy, etc. And you do great work. So let's make sure that we are all clear that, to me, that's an assumption, that everybody has the best intentions, that you are a person of good character, and that you have in mind, that you're not here to do evil in any way, okay? So let's make sure that everybody's on the same page there. So as we build these relationships, our goal is to make sure that as we want to progress in our career, our peers will support us to progress. They want to work with us. We contribute to them in a positive way, and we have a positive impact across our peers. We understand them, they understand us. We communicate openly and honestly. If our peers don't like us when we are being considered for different roles that may require you to interact with them even more because of the role, they will be the first one to scream bloody murder. say, absolutely not, I cannot work with this person, in a bigger capacity than she's already working, because I find that she's very difficult to work with. So you want your peers to be your champions, not to be your adversaries, okay? The same thing goes for your manager and your manager's peers. You have to work on developing a strong professional relationship with your manager. That means being able to set your periodic sessions for feedback, whether it's weekly, bi-weekly, monthly. It all depends on the function that you're doing and how much bandwidth they have. But it behooves you to be the one who asks your manager for that time and to select and agree on a time frame that works for both of you, whether it's weekly, bi-weekly, or monthly. That manager communication and that healthy channel of communication is what's going to allow your manager to get to know you better, to get to understand your ambition and your desire for contribution within the team, as well as get to know your strengths and get to know the areas that you need to develop, which is ultimately going to help you. So asking for feedback from your manager on a regular basis, it's absolutely essential, no matter at what level you're at, for you to continue to grow. And when conversations are happening behind closed doors, where they're saying, hey, we have a stretch assignment, who should we assign to this? Your manager can better assess whether or not you are a good fit if you have a healthy relationship with your manager. So that's your manager level. Then we talk about your direct reports. And many people that you and I know are really good at managing up, right? They pretend they're excellent people when it comes to their managers, but when it comes to their employees, sometimes they don't treat their employees with the same respect that they would like to be treated themselves. And if your direct reports don't like working for you, guess what? They will also revolt if you are going to be given more responsibility, and they will say, I do not want to work for this person. And when people don't want to work for you, that is a very bad thing. I don't think I need to say that, but I'm saying it just because I don't want any confusion. So having people wanting to work with you is very important for you to continue to grow in your career. And then the other ones that I mentioned, which I've recorded multiple videos on mentoring and getting mentors and sponsors and the importance of that. That is another bubble that is in your center of influence that I'm inviting you to develop. Now, the mentors and sponsors are the people that are more senior, that you can, the sponsor is somebody who's mostly a senior person who can throw your name in a hat for a stretch assignment or to give you the opportunity to go to a new role if that's something that opens up in the future. The sponsor is somebody critical, and I'm going to talk a little bit about the activities that you can do around developing these relationships. So the mentor, on the other hand, is somebody that is going to give you guidance, it's going to coach you a little bit, and sometimes that could be your boss, your manager. I don't like the word boss, but your manager. And the mentor is somebody that you have a lot of trust with. You can say a lot of things to, and not feel like it's going to come back to bite you. So it's somebody that you feel very comfortable with and that you have a lot of trust with. And so clients, even vendors, people that are in your sphere of influence are also people that you should include in this graph, and how to develop better relationships with your clients and better relationship with vendors and vendor partners that you deal with. So what are some of the ideas that I'm going to share with you around developing those relationships? So the first thing is to get that clarity around who are these people. And once you have that center of influence map, as I call it, then you're able to be more intentional about, okay, what am I going to do in order to connect with these people, right? So let's be intentional. Let's figure out for the different groups, what can I do? So write down for each of the groups that we just talked about, your direct reports, your manager, your sponsors, your mentors, your peers, what strategies are you going to leverage to get to know them better, to build a stronger relationship with them. For your team, you could have regular, group meetings, you could have one-on-ones, you could have some celebrations once a month where you get together, you have a pizza lunch and do things like that, and maybe everybody shares something about themselves that normally does not come up during regular meetings. That could be one way, for example. For your manager, you definitely have your one-on-ones. You can once in a while invite your manager to lunch or coffee, and that gives you an opportunity to have more casual conversations around hobbies, around things that they enjoy, that is not only talking about work. So that's another way potentially to do that. And for many women, I know this could be an issue, and usually it wouldn't be a big problem to have a dinner event or anything like that, but with the sensitivity around the Me Too movement, with the allegations, with the misbehavior of some people, I know that people may not feel comfortable doing that. And this also applies to sponsors and mentors, which would not be a problem before, but it's an issue. So to avoid that, I would say stick with lunch, stick with coffee, stick with perhaps events where there's multiple people involved, if you feel that that's an issue. If there is anything having to do with inappropriate behavior, obviously I'm not even having that discussion, because that should be something that you talk about with your human resources. And let them know that there's inappropriate behavior, whether it's happening to you or whether it's something that you have witnessed. But in general, though, let's talk about how to build relationships with your sponsors and your mentors. So one way is to have regular check-ins. Another way is to invite them to have a coffee, or even grab a quick bite for lunch. And that could get a little tricky with sponsors because they're usually very busy. But even then, I'm inviting you and challenging you that if you find somebody in the company that you believe is someone that you can learn from and that you can share ideas with, and this person is at a much higher level, perhaps even above your manager, that you have the courage to connect your work and your projects with something that they're doing. So do your research about what is important to that person, and then connect the work that you're doing with something that's important to them, and bring that as the topic that's going to make the connection for the two of you. And so you can even say, is it okay if I ask you a question around this particular topic, something that they're dealing with, something that's important and they're passionate about? I can tell you that most people are thrilled to discuss something that is important to them. And so in the spirit of contribution, though, make sure that you bring something to the table, to both your mentors and your sponsors. And the same thing goes for the other stakeholders that we talked about. So whether it's vendors or clients or somebody at some other function within the company. Look for ways to find common ground, topics that are common to the two of you, that you want. Get curious and look to discover, what can I learn from this person and what can they learn from me? And then make sure that when you connect, you are both giving and taking to each other and from each other. Okay, so this is what I'm sharing with you in this video. I hope this was helpful. If it was, please share in the comments. Let me know if there's any other topic that you are interested in hearing from me, and I would love to take it on. I love challenges, and I'm super curious. So if you give me something that I'm not familiar with, I am going to look into it, I'm going to research it, or I'm going to just give you my opinion about it. So you can find me at fearlesswomenatwork.com, and I look forward to the next one. I'll talk to you soon.